Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to this morning to Trauma Support Group Management. Today's gonna be a powerful, y'all. It's gonna really be good. This is the page where you can't talk the walk, you haven't walked the talk. So what I'm saying with that, I'm not getting on here making up stuff. Everything I say is 100% real, 100% with experiences, and was 100% with results. Today, it's going to be tough, it's going to be powerful, but this page is about traumas. But I was sharing with you guys in the last video about standards, qualities, and boundaries, right? Well, I don't know if y'all been watching my video, but a friend of mine began knocking on the door. A pretty lady been coming knocking on the door, like I told you. And I was watching church. True story. Everything I tell you is 100% true. I was watching church, and she called. And I was like, how can I help you? What's going on? Not to be, nasty or nothing like that. So she was like, well, what you doing? And I was like, I'm watching church. She's like, oh, the devil himself? It's like, okay. I said, listen, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I said, I want you to say one good thing about me. And she literally said, oh, I can't come up with nothing. I said, okay. So I'm going to give you another opportunity. I want you to say one good thing about me. And I had gave her a massage. She said, well, you're very good massaging. I said, well, say something good about me that you haven't got from me. And she said she couldn't come up with nothing. So my question to her was, well, let you hang around or you be around ugly people? And I said, what, you think I'm ugly? And she said, her response was, you all right. I'm all right. I immediately hung up that phone because it went to my standard. She didn't appreciate my qualities and she crossed my boundaries. So my reaction, before my reaction, the old constant thinking, the old negative thinking began to play in my head with my self-esteem, which I have overcome. And thoughts stopped becoming in my head. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I get up and tell myself I'm handsome every day. I try to do self-improvement every day. Sitting here in front of you is a self-improvement. I encourage myself every day. And I began to just think about, I'm not going to allow that to play in my head. That's not going to happen. And I found out that you can have power over your thoughts. So once again, back to the story, I didn't allow her to affect me. And lesson today is going to be powerful because we're still talking about trauma. So I'm going to share some traumas. Now, if you listen to what I was what I heard, that could be traumatizing. We have heard things from people that has traumatized us. Oh, you're never going to be nothing. You're going to be like your dad, or you're always going to be an addict, or you ain't never going to have nothing in life, or, you're nasty, or just the way people look at you can be traumatizing. So today, I want to share with you some of my women experience in trauma. I have been with women, and let me do accountability first. I have made decisions to be with women that have the best of my benefit. Or if they did have the best of my benefit, I was too delusional or impaired to see what was in front of me. When we deal with trauma, sometimes trauma can not only be other people's fault, it could be your fault as well. Because you allow yourself to be in situations or places, like they would say, people, places, and things. And you put yourself around them categories that, especially if there were unhealthy environments. And being in unhealthy environments can be traumatizing. So today, I've been and in my healing process, and as I was thinking about this, we all go back to childhood. So I'm going to share some things about my parents, not to offend them, not to embarrass them, not to make them look bad. Actually, I like to give the bad before the good. I really do, because I'm not painting no pretty picture. Like I said, this is real. So my mother's doing good, right now. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not trying to make nobody look bad, but it is what it is. It's real. So I had to share my experiences because that's all I can talk about. I can't sit up here and make up nothing as I go. I have to share. And I'm teaching you that you can release some things. You don't have to hold on to everything. You don't have to hold on and feel trapped. Today I was in the bathroom, where I spend my quality time with God, and I repented today for allowing myself, or forgave myself for being in the, oh my gosh, situations. Like some of the women I have dated, if I was in my right mind, I wouldn't have dated them. If they was probably in their right mind, they wouldn't have dated me. Vice versa. I mean, let's be real. And some of my experience coming up, I had my sister. I didn't have my mother. I helped raise my sister. I literally used to bathe my sister. I'm not trying to embarrass nobody, just keeping it real. I was in a position where I had to bathe my sister. Like literally, take her clothes off, put her in the tub, wash her body. And one part I did not wash. I told her, hey, your brother, I'm your big brother, but I ain't washing that area. You got to get that rag and wash it yourself. And that's keeping it real. And in doing that, I used to do my sister hair. Put ponytails in. Right now, they'll tell you, my uncle can grease your scalp. If you want your scalp greased, let my uncle do it. Or let my brother do it. They'll tell you that. And that's what I learned to grow up to do. It's not, most men say, oh, you got a feminine side. Well, we all got a feminine side. It's just how you apply it. And I ain't applying the way y'all applying it in Jesus' name. And by the grace of God. Right? So I was just thinking that in growing up with these traumas, it allows me to have dysfunctional relationship. Now, the relationship with my mother, it wasn't great. Come up, I've seen a lot. My mama really just be a good person, and was really dogged out. Like I never seen my mom cheat with my dad ever. I never see my mom with another guy when she was with my dad. I never. My mom, she was a clean person, and I guess during the course of time, her life took a curve. Well, addiction got involved, and my father and my mother was in addiction. I also was in addiction, and probably my family members are in addiction as well. Not to put their business, but the apple don't fall far from the tree. But today, I just learned that when you grow up a certain way and be accustomed to something, it seems normal when it's not. Some of the things I seen as a child traumatized me. I meant to say traumatized, but traumatized me because seeing my mom's head get pushed through a wall when I was maybe 4, I didn't like that. And I never forget, I went to my dad, 4 years old, and told him to get off my mama, and he pushed me, threw me almost across the house. I felt like across the house. I never forget when me and my mom was in church. And my dad came and drug my mom out of church. That was traumatizing. These are real stories. And at the time, I didn't think it affected me. I didn't see my mama just break down crying. And, as a son, older son, I couldn't do nothing but try to be there for her. And sometimes when parents go through things, they don't know that they're rejecting you, or they don't know that they're avoiding your love that you have for them. And there have been times that I want to, embrace my mother and let her know it's all right. But I end up questioning her, like, hey, mom, like, what's going on? Or are you on drugs? Or why is this happening? And, sometimes in parents and in their situations, all you can see is their emotions, not their explanation. And that's what I've seen a lot of coming up is emotions, impulses, rage, and my mom just totally broken. So as a child, and you seeing that with your eyes, just with your eyes, you're like, you think it's normal. You think, okay, this is what life is about. And it did bother me. It got to a point where I didn't want to be home. I got to a point where I didn't want to stay with my parents anymore. Like, I went to foster care. True enough, I went to foster care, and I left my mom. Being separated from my mom, but even though I was separated from my mom, I was attached to my sister. And me and my sister was together at the time, just me and her. So here I am, a young kid at 8 years old with a 4-year-old sister and a newborn baby brother. And my mind is like, okay, my dad beats on me and my mom. Where's my mom? What do I supposed to do? I don't have an 8-year-old child. I don't have nobody to talk to. They're sending me the Osceola Children's Home, my daughter Bible Christian Home Bible School, Sanford. I was in Sanford. God bless the dead. Katie Harrington. What it is? Great Oaks Village. I've been all kinds of programs. Orlando Metropolitan Urban League, Pine View Academy. I've been to a lot of facilities. I've been to a lot of places, shipped. And here I am with no father, because I already knew in my mind I didn't have no dad, but at least I had a mom. And now I don't have my mom. So being detached from my mom, that can leave a bitterness in your heart. A lot of people that are bitter with your parents, it's time to forgive. We'll work on that, but I just want to let you know, but bad for the good. But it left me a bitter taste in my mouth with my parents. I didn't like. I genuinely, I love my mom, but I didn't like my dad. But then as I got older and began to get in tune with my emotions, and after developing into relationships, I started having a dislike towards my mom. Like, I didn't. My mom, I guess she wants, every son should respect their mother and father. That's the word, and that's the sensible thing to do. But I really disrespect my mom. I think I wrote a letter one time, and I probably showed her some actions that I wasn't too pleased with her, but me verbally coming out just straight up disrespecting her, no. And but what's in you comes out. And for a long time, I was getting high. I was dealing with women. I was dealing with older women. when I was young, I didn't mess with young women. I'm older now. I don't mess with young girls. And because me being a big brother, I couldn't look at myself of being with a younger woman because I was a big brother, you know. And but when I was coming up, I was always attracting older women. Oh boy, it's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna do it. Some of the women that I have messed with, I'm not gonna say no names. This one lady I messed with for 5 years straight. 5 years straight, married and all. I was so-called in love with her to the point I took her to my mom's house. When I really like a female, like us most men, we go, hey mom, this my boo, you know what I'm saying? This her. This the one. This the one. And I ended up messing with her, and it got to the point where I thought I had a child with her. Now, don't forget, we're still talking about trauma. I had a child. She had me convinced that I had a son. Now I'm 47 with no kids now. This is going to explain why. I had strong emotions for this woman, and it didn't matter if she was married or not. I was just really crazy about her. And all of a sudden, she said, well, you know, you got a son. And I have photos of me with this child. Literally with this child, but I took it to my mom. Like I'm not a mama's boy, but me not having a relationship with my mom when she got back clean and situated, you know, I try to have a relationship with my mom. So I took her to my mom. I took the child to my mom, and my mom automatically looked at me and said, son, no, that's not yours. But me being high, me being impaired, me being delusional, me being in denial, me being accepting and caretaking, I was like, mom, this is my son. And I have times when I was selling dope and, you know, in the trap, doing my thing, I had the child with me. There's no money making today. There's no service, no drinking, no nothing. My son's coming over. And everything stopped. I miss money, you know, whatever. My priorities. We're going to get to that too. And once I did that, I felt somewhat good about, oh wow, I actually have a child that, you know, I need to change my life around. I need to, you know, just really just man up. But as I was doing that, I was seeing less of the child and more of the so-called baby mama. And I began to question, like, you know, where's the child at? And the person would really take good care of me. The person I was dealing with, she would take care of me. She was looking at me, you know, make sure I had bread, put me in a room, fed me. If I call her, she'll come. Like she did what she did to keep me, and she was good with it. I give you good credit for that. But that was the deception. That was the facade to keep me trapped. And I started asking questions. Hey, where the child at? Well, it's in this state and in this state. So why I can't have a child? Well, you're not fit to be a father because of look what you do. Well, you knew what I was doing before we even had a child. You met me on the block. And that right there, not seeing the child, not talking to the child after I know I got a child, you got to think about what that does to your self-esteem, what that does to your thought process, what that does to your emotions, how you feel about yourself. You know how women can make a man feel really messed up. If you ain't got no backbone, brother, you can feel messed up. And that story that I'm telling you messed me up. Now, here I am with a child that's not mine, and I'm beating myself up for years. Oh, I'm not good at it. I might as well just hit the streets. I might as well get this money. I'm out, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm just messing with any kind of, keeping it real, any kind of chick. Keeping it real. No standards, no qualities, and no boundaries. And that hurt me. That literally, it hurt me badly. Like, badly. I was going to jail. I was just numbing myself the best way I could. And I was numbing myself and it still weren't working. And even before that, just to rewind time just a little bit, when I was young, when, after my mom had got herself together, and I'm rewinding time, my bad, because, I got so much to tell, sorry. But when my mom got herself back together, great kudos to my mom, respect, she got her children back. And I have to put that out there. She did get us back. And when she got us back, it was good to a certain degree until, her addiction kicked in. And it was a situation that happened that was a life and death situation. And I don't want to share too much, but it was a life and death situation where my mother could have lost her life in front of my eyes. And by then, I was smoking weed. My mama didn't know I was smoking weed. My mama didn't know I was into guns. She didn't know that. And my downstairs neighbor was happening to be the weed man and the gun man. And, me in that type of environment, what I had, the weed and the gun. And I seen this situation, and me and my mother made eye contact in this situation. I don't know if she remembers this, but I do. And I remember looking at her, and we looked at each other, and I looked at her like, "What's up?" And she just did her head, and she put her head down, like, "No." And when she put her head down and no, the people was giving her a second chance, say, "Hey, you need to come through. If not, we'll be back." Once they walked out the door, I was, "Mom, what in the world?" And then on top of that, as a son that's already been separated from you, I can't protect you. Guess what, y'all? As a child. And, my mom always said, you can't obey by my rules, you can leave my house. But once I seen that, I didn't want to be around my mother no more. I didn't want to, I couldn't, no. The situation, they had took my game out the house, my mama had bought me, and this situation, and I wasn't number 12. At 12 years old, I was like, you know what? Heck no, this can't, no, this can't. And I was just starting to smoke weed too and get into the street. So you got to think about it, from 8 to 12 of caretaking with my sister, you got to think about the biting, the screaming, the fight just to keep me and my sister together and my baby brother. That's another story I will share later, but, just a bit that I had to be a man to keep us together. I'm a child, not a man. I'm a child. But I had a heart of a man. Right now, I'm being a man. So, in doing that, I left my mom. I looked at her, and I told Mom, I can't stay with you no more. She said, "Where you finna go?" She said, "I'm gonna stay with my daddy." Now that's a whole nother chapter. But I'm gonna stay with my dad. I can't stay with you no more. If I can't protect you, and I'm not finna sit here and watch you die either. And I left my mom. I left my mom when I was 12. I can tell you where in Pine Hills, Georgetown. I'll never forget it. Everybody know me back then. They called me Mike Tyson. And I left my mom. And when I left my mom, I went to my dad. Now I'm free. I'm with my dad. Like, my dad's not the topic, but I started discovering a relationship with girls. And when I was staying in Richmond Heights, I'll never forget it. My first girlfriend at Carver Middle was Yolanda Stewart. Never forget, Yolanda Stewart was pretty. But I almost got in a fight trying to be her girlfriend, or her boyfriend. Because she used to go with Delvin. What's happening to Delvin? And Yolanda Stewart, she was pretty, but she's kind of mean, you know. She back then. She was beautiful. Like she was beautiful. Yolanda Stewart was beautiful. But she had a mean streak. You know, back then in the 90s, girls, but there's like someone like tomboys, like the New York chicks. Like New York chicks, y'all the same. I lived in New York too. I met some women in New York. Now you talking about some rough women? New York women are rough. I ain't putting y'all down. I'm getting you kudos, but y'all rough. And I started with my relationships with women, and some of the women that I was attracted to were disrespectful, drug selling, fornicating more than one man and girls. I had another girl I was crazy about when I stayed in Skin. My dad introduced her to me. I ain't gonna say no name, but I like this girl. I know. I used to chase her daughter diaper, and I never forget one thing she did to me, and it stuck with me. It stuck with me, and it taught me, a man should have it on. Don't live with a woman. One day, she sent me out to make some money. I went and made the money. Came home with the money. But when I came home, my bag of clothes was on the other side of the door. Like literally. Like everything I owned was in a garbage bag. On the other side of the door. And I think it was starting to rain that night too. And before I got to the door, she used to keep her blinds, halfway open. So I seen a bunch of dudes sit where I put so-called my home, which really, man, if you stay in a woman's house, it's not your own. That's her house. We're gonna get to that too. But she had a lot of guy friends from the heights in the living room, and put me out in front of all these dudes that I know from Richmond Heights. So that was embarrassing, that was hurtful, and that was traumatizing, because you gotta think about it. Here I am going out to go get the money, to bring home the money. What did I do that you put me out? Well, I'm out trying to get money. What did I do? What did I do to deserve for you, be sitting in a house full of niggas, and I'm your man? Like, back then I was young, I didn't understand it, but it taught me something. So if you can relate to the situation, if you're going through this situation right now, walk away from that situation. Literally, like really walk away from that, because she don't have the best for your interest. That's a moral to the story that I'm telling you. From trauma, it could be male or female, but right now it's just from a male perspective. If people don't have the best of your interest, walk away. Just like I started in the beginning. People don't have the best of your interest, walk away. Male or female. Even a dog, if you ain't treating it right in your home, will leave you there. A cat will leave you there. And you ever seen a dog? I know, don't laugh at me, y'all. Don't laugh. But I always tell women, you ever seen a dog run and be looking back at you while they running, that's me. I'm running. I'm looking back at you, but I'm gone. That's me. That's what you should do. But this time, don't look back. Don't look back. Just run forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. That's what I did. You let me go? I'm making sure you ain't following me, but I'm running. That's what we needed to do. We need to get away from the situation. Run from that situation. I had another experience with a female that I was in love with. I ain't gonna say no name. And I gave her commitment. Now, like I said, some traumas that you experience, you have to take accountability for it because you did some things in that relationship to mess up that relationship. So once again, women, if you're ever watching this, I'm not fully blaming you, but y'all do play a big part, especially if you're not a healthy woman. If you're dysfunctional, rude, nasty, you know you are. You know how you can look at a man and make a man feel like 2 cents. You know how you can talk to a man and make a man want to knock your head off. Y'all know that. How to be with a man and flirt your stuff and don't give up nothing, but want everything. Y'all know who y'all are. That's wrong. It's unhealthy. It's wrong. And you got to know that you are traumatizing people. You are hurting people. I'm just saying. So, I was in another situation with commitment, and I gave my commitment up. Took it to my mama too. My mama, once again, didn't approve of it. Men, I'm not saying, hey, mom's approval is the stamp of approval, but you might want to listen to her suggestions or her wisdom. One thing I do thank God for my mom about her is that she has wisdom. My mom, she talks to me. She says, son, I know you're grown, but as your mother, you know what I'm saying? Blah, squash. Now, it's up to us if we listen to our mothers. Some people, some men and women are mother's child. They 40, 50 still living with their mother. I seen it in New York big time. Like, I don't know what's up there. But you got people men that's still living with their mother. If you stay with your mama and that's your bond, hey, I can't say nothing about it because I never had that experience. I never, after 12, had that experience. I have been home to my mama since. I'm 47. And so back to the relation of my committed relation is that I took it to my mom. My mom didn't approve of it, and I still, went forth with that relationship. Well, that went back. I ended up back on addiction. She was in addiction. I could have lost my life. I appreciate the children for sparing my life. Y'all know who y'all are. They were one thing I will say. They might say something bad about them boys, but them boys ain't that bad. And y'all know who y'all are. They was actually pretty good, understanding people, but also people with boundaries. They weren't gonna have that, and I apologize for that. But we're gonna get that to the end. And if you watched the video before this, I did ask if anybody seen my video before this one. At the end, I did ask for forgiveness for anything that I have done to offend anybody. So while I'm at it, forgive me for that situation. And we're going to talk about forgiveness for forgiving people, but back to the story. So it didn't work out. I was going to jail, car and pound. I went to prison out of this situation. I ended up going back to, my first time in prison. Sorry. I ain't going back to prison. But my first time in prison, I went back. I went to prison. Well, I keep saying I went back. Name of Jesus. But I went to prison. And while I was in prison, she was there. She held it down, phone calls, commissary. And I never forget, she came and seen me. I don't know what it is about February 12th, 13th, and 14th with my life. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just something great about these days of my life. Something great about February 12th, 14th, 12th through the 14th. Something great about them days. But I was in prison and in the Gulf. I was in Gulf CI Corrections, Weehawken, Florida. And they had a Valentine's Day weekend where your spouse can come and see you for 3 days. And the 3 days, the first day she came, I felt something off. I really felt something off. Like someone right. And I didn't address her. But sometimes in situations, if you have left a person while they're with you in a relationship and left off and went to prison, that can be traumatizing. My family members, I'm not gonna get off the story, but my family members have said me go to jail. Not funny, but it's real. And they were traumatized. Trust me, they were traumatized. But back to the story was that yeah. So I went to prison, and she came, and like I said, the first day, I felt something. You know, when you're in prison, ain't no drugs, ain't no sex. They're not over here. And you're pure, you're in tune with yourself. You're clean, you're sober minded, and your spiritual discernment is at an all-time high. Because you got to discern everything that's going on around you before it moves. I'm gonna say it again. You have to discern everything that's going around you before it moves in prison and on the streets. So, and you got to be watchful and quiet and prayerful too. You got to be prayed up in prison. And I pray for the people in prison in Jesus' name. But when she came the second day, sometimes you gotta, some of the things that you feel, you don't accuse, you address. Let me say that again. Some of the things that you feel, you don't accuse, you address it. And then when you address it, don't address it with impulse or anger. Address it gently. And I asked her, we sit at that table holding hands. I said, you cheating on me? And she said, why you say that? I said, well, number one, I'm in prison. Let's look at the realities. I'm in prison. You're good. You my woman. You beautiful. Like I'm here, and you're beautiful. You're a beautiful woman. So I know somebody asked you, but I know the type of woman that you are. You don't like to be alone, and you need your needs to be met and be supported. You need support under you. Are you cheating on me? And her being a real person, and you got to understand, y'all, when you're put a woman in a situation, you can't blame her for the decision she makes because you put her in that situation. You allowed that situation to happen for her to be put in that situation. We have to take accountability, guys. Okay, it's not all, like I said, it's not all about the women being bad today. This is about traumas and the things that you have done or you experience as a man or as a woman. That's vice versa. Women, y'all don't put men in a predicament. Well, we had no choice, but stick to the story. So I'm sticking to the story. And I asked her, I say, you could be real with me because I'm in prison. I know what's going on. And she honestly looked at me and said, yeah, I have a friend. Now, I'm finna help you out with something. Self-control is a beautiful thing to have. I was going by my notes, but notes gone. In trauma, we have reactions. We have two reactions. Either we take off, we go flight, or we shut down. That flight mode, oh, heck no, dude. Man, you got me messed up. That's flight. But you also got shutdown where you experience something and you just, your mind, your heart be broke. You just, shut down. That's shut down. You see a man walk around like this, so something going on. He hurt. You see a woman walk around just hurting on the inside, hurting mentally and on the inside, and spiritually, all kinds of ways, maybe financially too. Just addressing something, like making nobody look bad, but psychologically and spiritually, I'm just trying to teach you something. And my reaction was, I held my head more higher because I took accountability, and my reaction was, you know what? And I grabbed her hand. I said, you know what? I understand. Looked her right in her eyes. I understand. I'm not upset with you. I said, the number one thing I appreciate with you right now is that you was honest with me. Ding, here go another bell. Get ready. We have to learn to be honest with ourselves and honest with others. You know why you can do that? It'll keep you from having traumatizing experiences. You lying to a person, people lie a lot, traumatizes people. Because soon they see you or they hear your voice, all kinds of anxieties and panic attacks and fears just going on just because you triggered them. And also, while I'm talking about triggers, I don't want to trigger anybody in my videos. I want to let you know that you can address your triggers. So if I triggered you while you're watching this video, just be patient with me. Take a deep breath. If you got to pause this video, I prefer that you keep watching this video. Don't, because it's going to help you. And so lying is also a trigger. So I was reading today about honesty and about wisdom. We have to have honesty and wisdom in some situations. And I'm just showing you, even though that could have been traumatic for me, that really could have hurt me, that could have made me just go back to the dorm and just fight or just got depressed. Once you learn how to look at and be honest with yourself about why you did it, how you did it, where you did it, and how it happened, then you'll be understandable. Then you can be in your standards. Then you can know your qualities and your boundaries because you understand, okay, the standard is this, I'm in prison. The quality is I have a beautiful woman. But the boundary is that you're not with her. So if something did happen, a lot of men go to prison, come home, they got a baby. Or they come home, they got a whole nother man. Now, I'm not feed poison like that. There are some women out there that do, but is faithful with their man while their man is locked up. And I appreciate y'all women. So that being said, when that situation happened, I was honest with myself. And I accepted my outcome. Because you got to think about it. She looked at me and she said, well, what you expect? You left me. You're here in prison. What do you expect me to do? She said, I love you. That's why I'm here. I was in the Gulf. The Gulf from Orlando is a long way. She said, I love you. I'm in love with you. But now hold on. Some people be like, wait a minute. How you in love? No, you love me. But you love yourself. And but you're also being supportive because you're my woman. Toxic. That sounds confusing, right? What it is. So to give you clarity of the situation is that when you leave somebody in a situation, I know me leaving, it was probably traumatizing for them. When we leave people in bad situations, especially when they are codependent on you, or you're all they got, you got to understand, not only that you're traumatized, you're traumatized because you're going to jail, you're going to foster care, whatever, but you guys all think about the person they're also traumatized too, because they're separated from you. So that being said, I took it with a grain of salt. And I got out. She was still with the man. She didn't want to leave the man. She showed me, she did one thing, and she put, I remember because she put a big old sword on me in the house. And the house that we stayed in, I had drew it before I got home. When I seen the house, I was like, whoa, I drew this house. Like, I literally drew a picture of the house. Like, it had stone walls. I ain't never seen the house, but I drew the picture with the stone walls. When I got out of prison, I actually seen the house like the picture I drew. Pay attention to that. We have insight. So she drew a sword on me, and I said, you know what? I know where this is going. And I stayed with her for addiction purposes. It was no longer love. It was just, okay, we was just in addiction. And I'll never forget, her oldest son came in the room, and he said, I'll never forget, he said, listen, no disrespect, but I'm finna disrespect you. He said, you need to pack your stuff. Not tomorrow, not 5 minutes, right now. And he said, I'm saying this in the calmest manner. If you have awareness, this was a life or death type situation. And it's understandable because sometimes in addiction, I don't know why I'm going this way, but in addiction, we traumatize people. We hurt people. And that's what I was doing. I was hurting people and traumatizing them and just messing them up. But a lot of times, like I say, we can't blame people for our triggers or our traumatic experiences. Sometimes we have created them things. So I was a hot mess, but forgive me for that. So another situation. Let me see. Can I think of it right? I had the names wrote down, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. So just to go with that, it's just I have went through bad relations because of my motherhood relations. So if men be like, women be like, oh, you ain't got no respect for a woman. Well, we don't, because we didn't have no respect for our mother. If you ever meet a woman and she ain't got no respect for a man, because she never had respect for her dad. And this should be common sense. This is nothing new that y'all hear. But these millennial kids, and not to put y'all down, I love. Now, one thing I do like about the millennium children, they got heart. Like, they ain't nothing scary about them. And that remind me when I was young in my 90s. But like, they crash out and my crash out were two different ways. Like, I want to do dirt and then want to go to prison. They'll do dirt and don't care nothing about going to prison. That's the difference between us kids now, or us. Let me see. Excuse me. Us generations, and it was crazy. So to move on with that, I also want to address a situation where men, because from experience, I have been in relationships with stepkids that were disrespectful, that didn't have respect for their mom. Now, being in a relationship as a man that has boundaries, that has qualities and standards, but being with a woman that doesn't have boundaries, qualities, and standards is very discouraging, draining, and triggering. I have been with kids. Matter of fact, let me bring that up. I was with a woman for 7 years. Another situation where, I was doing my thing, but I had a job. I was going to work every day. She was content with me, whatever I was doing. And she found out that I was an addict. And she didn't like that. So that traumatized her. But the love she had for me overlooked at that. And a situation had happened. Once again, my experience, true story, one of her kids got us evicted. Ain't the real. Why you dealing with people getting evicted? Because it ain't my fault. It be their fault. Some things be other people's fault. Some things are not your. Thank you for saying that. Some things are not your fault. Some things are other people's fault. You're just in the midst of it, which caused you to experience trauma. Excuse me. So I did. They left me. They went back to their state. And they left me. The whole relationship, the whole family, after being with them for 7 years. No, hold on. 4 years. Being with them 4 years straight. All of a sudden, they just picked up, boom, left me. But she left, she left me with some transportation. But they left me. Now, I don't know about y'all, but even in addiction, even in numbness, even in whatever kind of drug you do, whatever kind of thing you into, when you're with somebody and you be separated from them at a drop without no cause and no relay, no reaction, no explanation. You know the explanation, but you can't help to keep them there, and they already got their mind made up to move on. This can take a toll on you, and a lot of things I have been through in life have taken a toll on me. And that situation, I was in love with that person. I'm finna say it. The person I was dealing with was a wonderful person. Very, I ain't gonna front, wonderful. But you know what? She had trauma. She had trauma and drama in her life. The kids kept drama on. Her traumas was on my kids. That was her trauma. My kids doing this. My kids doing that. And then we had another law. God bless the dead, bless you. I ain't gonna say no names. She was traumatized as well. So then I came with my dysfunctional things, drinking and using, and added right on to the situation. So, all of us was traumatized. I'll never forget when the person asked me after she left me. She asked me to come in the state where she was at, and I went. And I was in a situation where to show commitment to her mother before she passed away, and I did. Now, did I do it because I loved her? Yes, to a certain degree. I loved her, but I didn't agree with the kids were doing. I'm not gonna say I didn't love her kids because I'm not like that. I just didn't like the way her kids was with her, and by her working all the time and them being on their own, they looked at me like, "Who are you?" And that was understandable. But after a certain amount of time and after a certain amount of commitment, things had to change because now here the standards are at a certain point. Here go my qualities kicking in, and now it's time to set boundaries. When you're dealing with people that are dysfunctional, or if you're in an environment, even if you was dysfunctional and you try to change, you're not going to change because they're going to hold things over your head to keep you from reaching your standards. They're going to hold things over your head to seeing your qualities. And then dang sure ain't going to let you set no boundary because you'd already crossed the boundary. So there's, once again, you can create your own trauma. Like I say, trauma ain't just what people did to you, it's also what you did to yourself or what you did to people. And I'm just keeping it real. So for men that are out there that are stepfathers, if you're in a relationship with your kids and they're healthy and, they respect you, they get you Father's Day's gift and, they say, yes, sir. And they see you and your mom happy, you and your mom happy with the stepkids. Hey, man, congratulations. I ain't envying it. I'm not mad at it. Wish I could have experienced it. No, I don't even wish that no more. Too bad I couldn't have experienced it, but kudos, stay with that. But if you're a stepfather that's not getting that respect or that appreciation like you should, not even from the woman, because you can appreciate the kids but the woman wouldn't appreciate you, or you could appreciate the woman, but the kids don't appreciate you. Yeah, trust me, I know from experience. So if you're in that type of environment or entanglement and you're not happy, it's okay to walk away. I had got where the boundaries were crossed. I was on the phone, and one of my stepkids recorded me on a conversation, crossing my boundaries, not respecting my boundaries. And he took the conversation, gave it to his mama, and she came up and she said, "Hey, pack your stuff." Now, in the process, the kids didn't know, but me and her knew that we was on our last string anyhow with this relationship. And so I think when we departed, it was a relief for her and it was a relief for me. Probably a relief for her and her kids, but it definitely was a relief for me. And I forgive them people, and I ask that them people also, y'all, who y'all are. I also that you ask for that you forgive me. Also, I have grown from that situation. I have learned now with my experience to have these standards and have these qualities and have these boundaries, because I do not want to experience no more trauma like I had. Matter of fact, that situation I'm talking about had more death in it. I was going to a funeral seemed like every 4 months in that situation when I got upstate. It seemed like it was a funeral every time I turn around, somebody passing away. I'm like, what? And, God bless the dead. I lost one of my stepsons that I was really close to. And that was, traumatizing. But I'm healed from that. That's why I can sit here and talk about it without tears. Now, I miss some of these people? I can't say I do, to be honest. I can just say, y'all taught me a valuable lesson, and I appreciate y'all. That's all I can really say. And that's being respectful. Okay. So if we are dealing with people that don't respect our standards, boundaries, and qualities, this is what we need to do. 1, never reward anybody for treating you wrong. Don't do that. Don't. Even in the good book, it says you reward a child for doing evil, evil will never depart from them. A lot of times, as parents and co-parents, or in this day society, evil is good. And that's not good. When I was out there on the streets, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had, they was around me, yeah, what's up? You the man. To be honest with you, I've been made 3 videos. I only got 1 request. I'm not even complaining. I'm just sharing with you, what, how the fruit of what I'm doing. I had 55 views on my first video, which is, I think everybody that did the sat down and listened to me. Thank you. I got 1 comment on 1 video. But when I was on the block, I had a crowd. I had every all kinds of, yeah, bro, they go BG, hey, BG, come here, hey, BG, come here. I got 312 friends on my page. I don't see 312 views. But it's not about the views. It's about helping. And if you know me, and you know where I came from, but you know who your friends are when you're doing right or wrong, right? Because when you're doing wrong and you out there in the world, it's easy to have friends. But when you start doing right and doing the right thing and changing, some people don't support that or believe in you. So, don't reward. Like I say, don't reward people for doing wrong. Don't let nobody violate your standards. If you have standards, it's a certain way you don't like to be talked to, a certain way you don't like to be treated, a certain way how you live, your environment, your mental, your physical, your financial. Don't let nobody violate that. Now that, I'm not saying I'm better than, but I'm not what I used to be. Even when I was in the street, you couldn't talk to me a certain kind of way. I didn't allow that. I'd be like, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? But even in being sober, stable, and single, that it's really boundary time because, I had, a situation, my later friend that I allowed, or my accountability, me, trying to be cool with, was disrespecting my home, coming here touching stuff and flipping my bed, flipping my sheet on my bed. Wait a minute, hold on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't let people violate not only your space, but don't let them violate this. Don't let them violate your heart. Don't let them violate your mind. Don't let them violate who you are, period. This is a growing season for me, but guess what? I don't mind, because even with my neighbors, I let them know, hey, your porch over there. You don't have to stand in front of my door and make all this noise. Now, if you can't see me? No. Well, I'm gonna ask you to move in front of my door and go, where he's at, because where I'm at is peaceful. What y'all doing, I don't do. And by you standing here, I don't want to seem to be involved with what's going on around here, because this is my space. This is why I pay rent. It's a public area, but guess what? Even in public areas, we have a boundary. Arm's reach. You get in arm's reach, you violate. We all know that, right? Right. Stay in control. So, also have self-accountability. Have self-accountability. Say, hey, you know what? Some things ain't everybody's fault. Some things are literally your fault. They're literally your fault. And I want to encourage you guys to be accountable for yourself and not be in the blame game or just saying it's everybody's fault. Excuse me, I keep fixing my collar, but whatever. Another tip that I want to give you: be loyal. Be loyal to yourself. Be loyal to yourself. Or if you're in a relationship, be loyal. It's good to be loyal, because when you're loyal, you don't have to worry about trauma events, drama events. You don't have to worry. You don't have to fear. You don't have to have anxiety. You don't have to be depressed. Loyalty is just straight commitment. Right now, I'm in a commitment, getting on here every day, talking to you guys, making sense. It might not sound good to me, but it might sound beautiful for somebody else. Another thing is, when you with somebody, don't share too much, because when you share too much, like me, I don't mind getting on here sharing, because if somebody come on my face, oh, use that, I'll be like, I ain't doing it no more. Because people can use ammunition to poke at you and to offend you. But for the record, for future references, if anybody try to come at me about anything, I'm gonna look at you and laugh in your face, because you're bringing up something that I don't even do no more, or you're bringing up something that even is not even worth talking about. So, how now? Now if you come with constructive criticism, say, hey, bro, you need to do better than this and that. That's cool. But other than that, don't share too much with people, because it will be ammunition for them to hurt you. Another tip is, I can't even right. Have control over your emotions. Right. Have control over your emotions. That's what you need to do. Have control. Don't let everybody trigger you. If you're watching this today and you feel the Spirit of God touching you for healing, or if you feel your emotions and you crying that you can relate to the situation, cool. Don't get depressed. Don't start doing the blame game or saying, oh, don't even blame me. Just really be in tune with yourself. And if somebody's poking at you, set a boundary. Say, hey, man, I don't like that. Your voice has power, and your opinion is accountable. Understand your strengths. One of my strengths is pushing. pushing all my life. I don't push. When I feel like giving up. All right, let's just let me help me make it through the day. I'll try it again tomorrow. We are people, because the good book says, it's not to the ones that last, but to the ones endure. I have endured a lot of trauma. This is the third video. And my life, honestly, hasn't been great. It really, I'm being honest with y'all. My life ain't been great. I can honestly sit here and say, it wasn't nothing good, man. It wasn't nothing. Right now, my life is great because the things I used to do, I don't do no more. The people I used to hang around, I don't hang around no more. The relationships I used to have, the women, I'm single now and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm literally fine with that because it's a lot that comes with a relationship. Now, do I want a relationship? Yes, it would be nice. It would be nice to have that healthy someone that I can nurture. And my past relationships, y'all women know how good of a guy or a man I was to you. Even though I had my faults, y'all know I was good. And if you don't know I was good, well, you weren't paying attention. But I know how to cater. I know how to do good things. I really do, because I'm good to myself. But anyways, understand your strengths. Men, women, if a teenager happen to come across this, if you're in school or you're pursuing a profession, focus on that. If you are the fish that swims against the current, be that fish. Keep swimming against the current. Because evidently, wherever they're going, they might be going in the wrong direction. But if you feel like you have a need to not, or something's putting in your heart not to go where others go, follow that. And that's what I'm doing now. I could easily go back to the block, make the money, get the girls, but I'm not doing that. I'm choosing something that's going to help me and others, and that is understanding my strength. So understand your strength, whatever your strength is, to benefit you first, and then others. Don't question your values. I get on here and sometimes I watch my videos and I'm not conceited. I'm really very humble with these videos because I never did this before, and I never sat down and even when I was going to group and recovery, I didn't talk. I just listened. I didn't share. They be like, Mr. Walker, you want to share? I'm like, no, I'm good. I ain't got nothing to say. But I learned in group that you have to share to be free. You have to open up, share with somebody what your values are, what you are capable of doing. I've been telling my nieces, I say, niece, when I get my own place, I'm be in front of that computer talking. I'm going to share with people that they can make it. I'm going to be an example to people that you can really come out of your trauma. You can get healed. This is a video, not to share my life. This ain't a biography. This is really for helpful purpose, to be a light, to show people that you are valuable. Darrell, you are valuable. Person that I'm talking to that sees this video right now, you are valuable. And you have to know and don't question your value. Another tip that I want to give, control your impulses. Don't let everybody trigger you. Don't let a woman, you see a fat, I ain't gonna say no name, but I have people in my circle. I don't want to just, be wise with this, but I have people in my circle. That's all they do. Oh my God. Oh man, you should see this. He can't control his impulses. And by me talking to him, he can trigger me and or try to plant a seed for me to have those same impulses. But because of my standard qualities and boundaries, I don't allow that. So what I'm saying with this, just because certain people are a certain way, don't mean you have to feed into how they are. You can say, hey, You ain't even got to say, hey, I don't want to hear that. You could just say in your mind, this is not healthy. This is not acceptable. And they can still be talking about whatever. But in your mind, you be like, either in prayer or meditation, I can't do this. Or, say to yourself, or you can just say out loud, hey, man, can you quit talking about that? Let's talk about something else. Or let me call you back. Let me call you back. Right. So that's another trigger for my family. I traumatized them with that, Let me call you back. Ask, maybe an interview in the future. I'll share with them. They'll tell you when the rare you say let him call you back, they'll tell you, oh, it wasn't no good. But don't, control your impulses. Really stay in self-control. You don't have to say everything you feel. I haven't got reactions from these videos. I would like comments. I would like for you to share. I want some feedback. But if not, it ain't gonna stop the show. Like I used to say back in the day, can't nothing stop the magic. They ain't got no voodoo or none over here, just Orlando Magic. You feel me? That's how I say it like that. So one time for the Orlando Magic. You dig? So okay. Another thing, always be willing to walk away. Now, this is I live this. Like where I am, where I got today, I walked away. My last situation, my 14 years, well, it was 4, but it's 14 altogether. My last situation, I walked away from that. How I did it wasn't right, but I got on because the person told me, another female relation I'm talking about, the person told me 3 things. She said, you're embarrassing, draining, I can't do what I want to do. As a man, that from my trauma experiences, from what I'm sharing you and all the relationships that I'll share with you with these I have traumatized or they have traumatized me. That was the final straw of being in a relationship, and I have not been in a relationship since. And thank God for that, because that hurt me. Now it's a deep story to this, because the person that I'm talking about, they pinky swear at me that they would have my back in the situation, and they didn't. That hurt me. So to keep it real with you, I'm just gonna bring up that past relationship. Her brother, I took the kids, even in addiction, I took the kids over there to, my stepbrother. Hey man, the kids good, we good, you know what I'm saying? Over there with your mom, helping out with moms, you know what I'm saying? The kids got haircut, they go to school. We can't just stop by to see you, And I was in my addiction, and sometimes if you're being set up, don't be how can I say dumbfounded to what you see. If you see something that's uncomfortable that's happening, going on around you, pay attention to it and get away from it. And I seen what was happening. No battery going on. Sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I seen what was happening, but I was impaired thinking. I didn't think that this person had it in their heart or the capability to do this to me, because we had the person I know for like 30 years, 20 something plus years. And I ain't ever hit his sister. I ain't ever hit him. I ever not, since I was with that girl, the whole 14 years, I ain't ever put my hands on her. Honestly. And she punched me too. She punched me in the eye. But I forgive y'all for that. But I'm just sharing. So, yeah. So in that situation, I ended up going to jail because of the person that I was dealing with, her baby father, saying that I was molesting his kids and I was selling drugs and I was pimping her for drugs. This the baby father. Now, I've been with his kids for 4 years, not a scratch, no abuse, always had what they wanted. And if you get asked if I ever had these kids, no, matter of fact, I don't even want to see them because God separated me for a reason. But I was good to these kids. I had a certain time, and they called it a certain time. I used to be like, y'all, hey, what time it is? And they be like, oh, such and such a time. What that time was saying is that, oh, me, the stepfather, I got it. It's time to go. Y'all go. I take the kids in the store, get anything you want. I'm in the dictionary now. Get anything you want. And what I was doing, was I perfect? But I didn't. The kids didn't see it. The kids didn't see that. The kids didn't see the dysfunction until I came back around. And one day, I was impaired. I was intoxicated, and too intoxicated because I came back to the relationship with unresolved issues, hurt, and depression. Because she, like I said, I told you the story before. She left me on my birthday, 34 degrees, 34 degrees weather on my birthday. So when we got back together, she was expecting me to be at my A game, like have a job and all this type of stuff. But I was just coming out of addiction. We had just got back together, and I just needed just a little time and a little rest. And I know matter of fact, while I was there staying with her, I was getting treatment. I was going to this place. Now, this place I will recommend for people in Kissimmee. It's called Misfits. It's a mental health institution, but it's Misfits, and they are very nice to you there. Well, to me anyhow. And it was a place where I went and got myself together, and I did. But when you're trying to get yourself together and you're not fully healed, you're not fully sober or whatever, you got to also think about the other person. They're not fully healed, and they're still dealing with trauma because they got personal issues, or they have personal issues with you that you haven't sat down and talked about. And we was in the facade that this relationship would work because the intimacy that we had, the sexual intimacy that we had was good. But the reality of me being the man she wanted me to be, and me, her being the woman she wanted me, because I tried doing therapeutic things when I came back. Like, hey, it's Thursday. As a man, I want to try. Let's sit out every Thursday and just have a house meeting and see how everybody work going. Just trying to build a family that's not mine. So, men, once again, I'm going back to the subject. You can't build something that's not yours. I don't have any kids, so I can't raise any kids. I don't have a wife, so I can't raise a wife. I can't build a wife. There's some things that we have to come out of our delusional mind and say, you know what? That woman you got, it's yours. Because if she got a child out of her, that ain't your woman. That child belongs. That woman belongs to first of all, that child. And then the child and the woman belong to that man, because that child, that woman, they got a child from that man. It's time to take the glasses off, take the blinders off, glasses off, whatever you want to call them. The woman that you're probably with right now, and I want to say this just as an encouragement. I don't know why I'm pushing, but I'm going to push because that's what I do. Don't be second best to nobody. Don't be second best. Don't be in a relationship where you pay all the bills in the house. The kids don't respect you. The mother don't want to give you no sex. She don't want to respect you in front of the kids. Get out of that. Now, if you got that going on, you got respect and all that, hey, cool. But I'm just telling you from my experiences, that's why I'm back to what I'm saying before you got lost with me a little bit. Always be willing to walk away. Don't be afraid to walk away from a situation that's not benefiting or appraise. Not even saying, don't even say appraise, appreciate you. I used to give stuff to the kids, and I used to be like, what y'all supposed to say? A man shouldn't have to do that, especially if the mother's raising the kids. The mother should install the rules to the kids, not the stepfather. Because what's the first thing the kids say? You ain't my daddy. That's traumatizing and hurtful to a man that's supporting and understanding and dealing with the baby daddy ain't doing nothing except causing drama and situations like that. So guess what? As we're on that topic, yeah, don't be afraid to walk away. But I also want, before this video ends, everything that I shared with you today, my trauma experiences, my mistakes. I forgave myself. So today, if you're watching this video and you listen to this whole video and you understand where I'm coming from, forgive yourself, first of all, for allowing to put yourself in them type of predicaments. Then, right now, if you see this video and people that I don't even talk to y'all no more, forgive me for, and I done forgave on the last video too. So let's stop this. Let's stop, the forgiving stuff. Let's stop doing this. Forgive ourselves. And just watch this here. This is what we're going to do. We forgive you. We forgive you for not appreciating me. I forgive you for not understanding me. I forgive you for not letting me lead. I forgive you for not saying stop. When I mean stop, that means stop. We could do this. Let's stop. You didn't want to stop. I forgive you for that. I forgive you for the times I say, hey, this should be this way, this should be this way, this should be this way. As a man, you didn't accept me or understood me or listen to the words that came out of my mouth as your man. I forgive you for that. This is deep, y'all. What I'm doing right now is what I'm teaching you to do is how to let things go, walk away from it. And when you walk away from it, you don't have to carry nothing, no guilt, no shame, no nothing with you. Because it's time for you to be free. This is the time. And this is, I'm letting you know, as a person that been through trauma, you could come out of trauma. I have came out of trauma. And if you see, I always make y'all say, I can come out of my trauma. Say it again. I can come out of my traumas. That's why you're watching Trauma Support Group Management by Mr. Darrell Walker. That has walked the talk. No, let me say it correctly. I'm sorry. I have walked some of these things. When I mean by walk, I'm not saying nothing that I ain't never been through. I'm not telling you guys things to do something that I'm not doing. I'm doing everything I'm telling you to do. I'm showing you how to do it. And I want to encourage you today at Trauma Support Group Management that God is going to keep using me, and I'm going to keep allowing myself to be free to share with you to overcome in your battles or in your traumas. Because today is a new day. You know how I knew it is? Watch, I got it. Make sure I knew it is. I got my tag somewhere here. I got a tag. Oh, it probably fell off. Oh, there you go. I got a tag. This is how I do it. I'm funny. Today a new day. That's how I knew it is. Yeah, it's raw. From raw. Don't worry about it. But guess what? It's a new day. That's how I knew it. That's how brand new it is. And so new I ain't even took the tag off for it. You feel me? That's how new we are. We can have a new day. And today is a new day. I don't know why I did that as an illustration, but that's how brand new this is. That's how fresh this is. And we're going to say, if you want to be brand new and fresh today, be brand new and fresh. This is the first time I wore this shirt. Today is a new life. Today is a new time to close yourself with newness. That was good. Close yourself with newness. You feel me? Have a new mindset. Talk different. See different. Hear different. Feel different. I feel way different than I did before. And I'm not boasting. I'm not trying to brag. But if you knew me 4 or 5 months ago, if you knew me 10, 20 years ago, you had never seen this type of person. Never. And if I did, I was in the church, or I probably on some liquor. One or the other. But I want to just really hope that y'all enjoyed this video today. Please share, please comment, even subscribe. Like I say, I'm here to help people. If you find me funny and I made your day today, I'm glad. I'm glad that you have something to be happy about. And once again, thank you for watching Trauma Support Group Management by Darrell Walker. Have a nice day.